isolation, but they're more like a metaphor, a way of describing people's experiences than an actual place. In the history of slavery, for instance, black skin was a camp. It marked you out as beyond the normal social and legal rules. Sometimes camps are built by law, sometimes by social convention. Sometimes they're built all at once, sometimes they're built gradually, people slowly being separated from the general population. We've talked before about how some countries are building camps around Muslim people. You can click that card in the top right to learn more about that. So sovereignty could be seen as the right to build camps and send people there. To claim sovereignty is to claim the right to exclude people from the nation. And here, we're starting to get at the immigration issue. Some people think that there's too much immigration and would like to exclude those who are seeking a better life in the UK, to exclude them from the protections and benefits that come with living here. See also those like Conservative MP Michael Gove, who doesn't like that there are rules against deporting people from Britain who would be tortured or executed in the place that we send them to. Those rules restrict Britain's right to exclude, which in that case really does translate into the right to kill, or have killed. One thing human brains are great at doing is taking a difficult question and substituting it for an easier one without us realizing. The question, what should our immigration policy be, is difficult to answer. We need to look at things like how many people are coming, what's that as a percentage of the population growth, why are they coming, what are the facts on things like taxation and welfare and impact on public services. And it's very easy to miss all of that and substitute the easier question, do I like the sound of these people? The answer to that has no bearing on what a good immigration policy is. And not just that, but we need to be very wary of the ways in which our answer to it might have been affected by mistaken information or stereotypes. The way we talk about people we want to exclude is very important. Sometimes we might have good reasons for excluding someone. For instance, as a member of the EU, we can in fact already refuse entry to immigrants if we think that they pose a particular risk to public security or health. But it becomes much easier to put someone in a camp if you believe that they are unsuited to existing anywhere else. Hence, you might sometimes see people say that immigrants of certain backgrounds can't integrate or don't share our values, or that they pose a unique criminal threat. In reality, crime has very complicated social, political, economic, and personal causes, but you might sometimes see people simplify those factors slightly.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
You might also see a lot of animal and insect-based imagery, like the Prime Minister describing a swarm of people, or Katie Hopkins calling migrants cockroaches. It might just seem like off-colour poetic imagery and oh no, here come the PC language police, but again, it's much easier to put someone in a camp if you're not used to thinking of them as a human being with hopes and dreams and feelings like you. For that reason, racism is also a very effective tool for constructing camps. Again, we've talked about that before. Because talking about immigration is talking about exclusion, it's very easy for racism and white supremacy to hide in plain sight as concern about mass immigration. Fortunately, there's a litmus test that we can conduct. If we are against immigration, we might want to ask ourselves, do we know how many immigrants are coming to the UK? Do we know what that is as a percentage of population growth? Do we know what the social and economic and political causes of immigration are? Do we know what the facts are about taxation and welfare and impact on public services? And if we don't know those things, have we answered the right question? Or have we really answered a question about ourselves? That is not to say that all concern about immigration is motivated by racism. Of course it's not. But those are the big pitfalls that can prevent us from formulating immigration policies that actually do good. And it's important that we get these immigration policies right, because as the refugee crisis worsens, the right to exclude increasingly becomes the right to kill or let die. And where our own actions have an impact on immigration, it can become the right to let die as a result of conditions we helped bring about. For instance, climate change, which we've had a hand in creating, and which will soon create a lot of refugees. All of which puts the Brexit campaign in a very tough spot. If sovereignty, in this case, is the right to exclude, which can sometimes mean kill or let die, then we might want to ask, who are they looking to exclude, why, and how many people are going to die as a result? I'm not saying that's an impossible question to answer, and I know that Brexit is not entirely about immigration, but to the extent that this is about sovereignty, that is life and death serious. When we vote on Thursday, people's lives are going to be in our hands. And like all good philosophers, we need to think about the ways in which our intuitions on this question may be biased. Visit patreon.com/philosophytube if you'd like to contribute a tiny portion of your expenditure to the cause of giving away free education on YouTube and to prevent me being excluded from housing and food. Subscribe to become a full citizen of the digital nation that is PhilosophyTube. Absolutely all are welcome.